Hello, I'm Noah Smith, and today I want to ask you, have you ever wondered if it's possible to be spiritual at the office or while waiting for a delayed elevator? Could washing the dishes be just as sacred as praying? Most of us associate spirituality with high moments, retreats, rituals, deep meditations, quiet temples. We imagine spirituality as something grand, wrapped in symbols, special clothes, or difficult words. But what if it's exactly where we least pay attention? What if spirituality is something more everyday, more subtle, closer to what you feel when you're silent with yourself, more present in the way you talk to the cashier at the supermarket, or in how you breathe after hearing a criticism? Spirituality, deep down, doesn't live in the heights, it lives in the now. In this episode, I want to invite you to look at the small choices in your daily life as gateways to a fuller kind of awareness, softer, freer. True spirituality, the kind that transforms, doesn't require you to change countries or religions. It only requires presence and courage. Courage to be honest with yourself, even in the most ordinary situations. Every moment, even the smallest ones, we have the chance to offer the world a conscious response, or an automatic reaction. Between these two paths lies what we call a spiritual life. So, let's explore together this idea of living the sacred in small choices. Because, as the poet Rumi wrote, what you seek is also seeking you. It's waiting for you inside simple things. Take a deep breath and stay with me until the end. Oh, and if this content resonates with you, subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together. The now as an altar. When we think about spirituality, many people picture others meditating in silence, lighting incense, chanting mantras, or performing complex rituals. But what if spirituality is simply being here? The now is the only real time. All spiritual masters say this in different ways. Eckhart Tolle states, "Nothing ever happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now." Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese master, said, "The way you wash the dishes reveals how you live your life. Wash the dishes as if you were bathing a baby. Wash with love, with presence, with wholeness." Most of us live life as if we're always heading somewhere else. The present becomes a means, never an end. But if the present is all we have, how can we treat it as something less? Imagine you're stuck in traffic. The car in front isn't moving. You're late for an important appointment. Your body starts to tense. Your breathing quickens. Your mind races. Damn it. Always the same. Why can't anyone drive? In that moment, without realizing it, you've been hijacked by impulse. Now imagine another possibility. You feel the tension rising, but instead of reacting, you breathe. 3 seconds. You notice your body. You listen to the music playing. You realize that, in that very instant, nothing is wrong. You are there, alive, breathing, in the present. That is spirituality, not because it's pretty, but because it's true. Because it's the space where you stopped being ruled by reaction and made a choice. This is the true altar, the now, where you offer yourself, not with candles or flowers, but with attention. The invisible choice. The psychiatrist Viktor Frankl wrote one of the most profound phrases I've ever read. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our freedom to choose, and in that choice lies our growth and our freedom. This small phrase is one of the pillars of any true spiritual practice. Because, you see, we can't always control what we feel, but we can choose what we do with what we feel. Spirituality is not about denying anger. It's about not feeding it. It's about looking at it with awareness and asking, what does this want to teach me? Imagine a common situation. You're in line at the bank. It's hot. The wait is long. Someone in front of you seems to be arguing with the clerk. You start to get impatient. Your impulse is to complain, to criticize, to think badly of that person, maybe even to grumble. But what if you stop, breathe, observe, and think? How many stories are happening here inside that I don't know? Maybe that person is paying off a late debt. Maybe they've lost a family member. Maybe they're just having a hard day. That space between impulse and reaction is where spirituality is born. It's the moment you decide whether to repeat the old pattern or build something new. To be spiritual, in this case, is to withhold judgment. It's to listen internally before responding externally. It's choosing to see the other with eyes of compassion, even if they don't deserve it at that moment. That is divine, and it is deeply human. The sacredness of the simple. Have you noticed how we treat household chores as punishments? Washing dishes, folding clothes, mopping floors. All of this becomes a burden, an obligation. But what if these chores are invitations? Invitations to a silent spirituality, without words, without rituals, just attention. Thich Nhat Hanh taught his disciples to wash the dishes with full awareness. Each plate was treated as a sacred object. The act of scrubbing, rinsing, and putting away was a form of meditation. But isn't that nonsense? Maybe, for those who only seek spirituality as spectacle. But for those who want to be present, washing a glass can be an initiation. Every physical act contains subtle energy. While cleaning the house, you can mentally say, as I clean this floor, I also cleanse my thoughts. As I organize this space, I organize my inner world. Imagine doing this to the sound of soft music. No rush, no distractions. It's not about romanticizing work, but about understanding that it's inevitable. And if it's inevitable, why not make it sacred? Spirituality lives in intention. You can fold a towel with anger or with reverence. You can clean the bathroom as a punishment or as purification. The gesture is the same, but the energy changes, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you did. What matters is how fully you were there. The other. As a portal, relationships are spiritual laboratories. You can read 100 self-help books, but you will only understand your shadow when you live with someone. Nothing triggers us more than the other, especially the other who thinks differently, who lives differently, who reacts differently. But that's where the beauty lies. Imagine a family member makes a critical comment about you. You feel anger. You want to respond in kind, but you breathe. And you ask yourself, what is hurting inside me right now? Is this pain new or old? You choose not to react automatically. You respond with presence, with listening, with truth, but without attack. This is a modern miracle. Relational spirituality is this. It's not about being passive, but about being conscious. The other is a mirror. Everything that bothers you deeply can teach you about yourself. Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." But we can only truly love the other when we stop reacting and start seeing. And often what we see is that everyone is trying to heal. The body as the path. Spirituality is not just something that happens in the mind, nor only in emotions. It is above all deeply bodily. It is in the body that we feel the presence of the sacred manifest in subtle and concrete ways. Feel the warmth of the hot water running down your skin. that simple sensation that connects you to the present moment, to self-care. Try to notice the texture of the bread as you eat it slowly, savoring every bite, every aroma, as a small ritual of gratitude. Even a simple walk, done without hurry or distractions, can become a powerful spiritual practice. As you walk, put your phone aside. Allow your senses to open to the sounds around you. The distant birdsong, the rustling leaves, the whispering wind. Notice details that usually go unnoticed. The movement of shadows, the shape of clouds, the scent of the air. Every step you take can be a silent prayer, a meditation in motion. The body is the temple where your deepest essence dwells. The gesture you perform with attention is the altar of this temple, and conscious breathing becomes the mantra that connects the visible to the invisible. When you are present in your body, here and now, a door opens to any true spiritual connection. It is from this physical presence that everything begins to gain meaning, and the soul finds a way to express itself in the world. The invisible is where everything begins. Much of genuine spirituality manifests in the invisible, in what cannot be captured by eyes or cameras, nor celebrated on stages or social media. It is in the silence of internal choices, away from applause and looks, that the true essence of being is built. No one notices when you choose not to respond to an offense, opting for peace instead of conflict. No one sees when you give a sincere "good morning," expecting nothing in return, as a simple gesture of respect to another. But these small acts, added together, shape character, strengthen the soul, and define who you really are. Real spirituality doesn't happen to impress or please others. It flourishes the moment you stop acting to be seen and start acting with integrity, aligned with yourself. You do what is right because it is your choice, because it lifts your spirit, even if no one knows. This invisible, silent, intangible place inside you is where everything begins. Just as a flower only grows because its invisible roots dig deep into the earth, your spiritual life only strengthens when you cultivate this internal dimension, unseen by others, but sustaining all the beauty you manifest in the world. Spirituality is not in the words you repeat, but in the choices you make, not in the temple you visit once a week, but in the attitudes you cultivate every day. It lives in the way you breathe before you explode, in how you treat those who can offer you nothing, in the choice to not feed a cycle of pain. Every choice is a small altar, and with every gesture, you offer something: your peace or your chaos, your presence or your distraction, your soul or your ego. And it is in that space between thought and action, in that small pause, that true spirituality reveals itself. It is not something distant or abstract, but deeply present in every moment you decide to be better, more conscious, and more human. May every step you take be a reverence to life, a manifestation of the love that arises from within you and transforms the world around you. Because it is in this constant practice, this daily cultivation of the soul, that the true power of spirituality resides, one that does not depend on rituals, but on an open heart and awakened consciousness. If this content touched you in any way, I invite you to share this video with people who are also seeking this true connection. Leave your comment below, telling us how you live your spirituality in everyday life, because your experience can inspire many others. And don't